In January 2022, I had 2,000 followers, and today I have over 113,000 followers. And in the past year, I got 30 million views on LinkedIn. So I went from unknown to a high authority in my industry thanks to LinkedIn. But of course, it was not easy to achieve this. So in this video, I'm going to break down the whole story, and you're going to understand how I went from 2,000 to over 110,000 followers. And I'm going to share everything. How did I start? What mistakes did I make? What content strategy did I use? How I built my personal brand? And also what were my top performing posts that led me to where I am now. So it all started in January 2022. I started posting on LinkedIn because I had to generate leads for my agency that I had back then. And from the start, I really didn't care about what others would think about me posting on LinkedIn because I knew I had to do it for my business. So I really didn't care about what others were thinking. And this is something very important because you cannot start posting if you worry too much about what other people are thinking. So to launch my LinkedIn post, I analyzed the platform. I was looking at other creators, the trends, and so on. And I simply started posting by experimenting on different topics. I talked about marketing, about management, about leadership, about business, but also about other topics such as history and so on. So I really experimented with broad topics, trying few formats, and I recommend you to start by experimenting on different type of posts and different type of topics. But here is a lesson that I learned because I even wrote about things I didn't know about. I wrote about how to be a manager and not a leader, even if I was not really good in management and leadership. So when I noticed that, I started to experiment more on the topics that I knew about, such as marketing and more especially growth marketing. So here is a lesson for you that I got from my first phase. You need to experiment, but make sure that you write and publish about topics that you really care about, that you have an expertise in, and where you can answer questions, comment, and so on. So experiment, but don't step out too much of your expertise zone. Talk about topics that you know about, that you love, and where you have a good track record. So after 4 months, in April 2022, my post started to take off. I got good engagement. I even got some posts with around 80 to 100 engagement. I was starting to get leads because when you start posting, you get leads on LinkedIn around after 3 months. And what happened is that I started to build my personal brand. Here is a quick definition of a personal brand. It's about how people perceive you. And when you have a strong personal brand, here is what happens. When they think about your expertise, they think about you. And when they think about you, then they think about your expertise. So at that time, I positioned myself on the topic of growth marketing because that was what we were selling in my agency. So when people needed a growth marketer, they would think about me. And when they thought about me, they also thought about growth marketing. So that's when I started to build my personal brand around marketing and growth marketing. So at that time, I was around 4,000 followers and it was going well. But at some point, I really lost my momentum. I think what happened is that I thought I made it. I thought that I had a good content strategy and that my posts were doing well. So I didn't put enough efforts in my posts because of that. And so I lost my momentum. So I got a lower engagement, less leads, and also less revenue, obviously. So here is a lesson for you that I got from this phase. You need to always keep pushing and always reinvent yourself, your formats, your posts, or even the topics you're talking about, because the algorithm, the market, the trends, and people are always changing, so you always need to adapt. So after I lost this momentum, it was really hard for me. I went through what we call the valley of despair. It was really hard from July 2022 to January 2023. During 6 months, I had really low engagement. Yes, during 6 months, it was really hard. But you know what? I kept posting every day. And today I'm thanking myself for that. Because at that time I thought, okay, you are not getting a lot of engagement now. People are not really interested anymore. So that means it's getting harder. So I thought, let's see if you can keep pushing even if you don't have a fast feedback loop and the dopamine out of the engagement. This is where I really built my discipline. I was posting every day during 6 months, even if I was not getting the results that I was expecting. So I put my focus on the creation process rather than the outcome, which were the engagement, the impressions, and the leads and the revenue. So I kept posting, I kept analyzing the results, iterating based on the results, and even if I had low engagement and not so good results, I kept posting. And this is an important lesson that I got from this phase, is that consistency is the name of the game. No matter how good you are or how good your content is, if you are not consistent, meaning creating content and posting on a regular basis, your account will not grow. And especially when it's hard, you need to stay consistent, otherwise you will abandon. So make sure to be disciplined, have a content plan, and stick to it step by step and stay consistent, so when you have low results, you can expect better results step by step. And then 6 months after low engagement, in February 2023, something big happened. One of my posts got more than 5 million impressions on LinkedIn. The post was about ChatGPT that launched GPT+. The funny thing is that I wrote this post in 20 minutes and it was just an analysis of the potential revenue made by GPT+. And because it was the day after the announcement, it got a lot of engagement. It was shared everywhere, even on the press. So it taught me a very important lesson, is that what is important when you are writing a post, it's of course the formatting is important, the call to action, the hook, but more importantly, what insight are you talking about? With this post, I talked about a very specific insight, a very trendy one, and because of that, people really liked and enjoyed reading it. So here is a lesson for you. When you are ideating your content, you need to have an insight that is fresh, unique, and interesting. Don't try to copy everyone else or you will be a copycat, and don't write content that is like a commodity that can be found anywhere else. But after this big post, something bad happened, is that I lost my momentum for the second time. This time, I don't know why, but I think this post gave me a good momentum for like 3 weeks, but I lost it again after that. But the good thing is that, as I explained earlier, I kept being consistent, I kept posting on LinkedIn every day, and this is when the real takeoff happened. So finally, in June 2023, my LinkedIn content really took off and I started to build my authority in my industry thanks to this social network. Here is the truth. In June 2023, I started to take it very seriously. So I built my content strategy, I created my content pillars, I had a real narrative with a strong point of view, fighting a real enemy. So this is why my content took off. By the way, if you are interested to create your LinkedIn content strategy and to find your narrative, your point of view, your content pillars, and build your manifesto, you can have a look at my LinkedIn masterclass in the descriptions so you can learn exactly how to do that. Also, at this time, I started to add infographics in my LinkedIn posts. And actually, I always had this skill because I've been a designer for 8 years, but I thought that design was different from LinkedIn. I thought it was two different skills. But when I added infographics into the mix, people really started to enjoy my content because it was really visual. So here are 2 lessons for you that I learned from this phase. The first one is you need to take your content strategy seriously. You should not post randomly. And the second lesson is that you should have a look at all the skills that you have and try to reuse them for your LinkedIn content. So have a look, maybe you are good at design or at video making or building public. Take your skills and include them inside your LinkedIn content strategy. So over the summer of 2023, I added around 15,000 followers to my LinkedIn account with around 3 months of posting. And so in October 2023, I celebrated my 50,000 followers with this post. It was a very important milestone for me. And after that, I kept posting and pushing my LinkedIn content even further. At this time, everything started to accelerate. I got more inbound leads, more podcast invitations, more revenue, and also I built my personal brand and my authority in my industry. Every day I was generating around 65,000 views and getting around 200 to 300 followers per day. It really felt like all the efforts that I put in the past 6 months were really paying off. And this taught me a very important lesson that you have to know as as well is that in content marketing and also on LinkedIn, when you are posting something today, you will get the results in 3 months. It has a delayed impact on your business or on your career. So you start publishing now and you harvest the opportunities in 3 months. That's why it's very important for you to start right now if you are interested to build authority, to get inbound demand, and to build your personal brand. That's why you should have a look at my LinkedIn masterclass if you want to achieve this. So finally, I hit 100,000 followers in May 2024, and I celebrated with this post. Now that I have around 113,000 followers, obviously I'm still the same person and I'm still a marketer, but I have a lot of different benefits that come thanks to this. I get around 20 messages per day of different opportunities, people from around the world. I receive plenty of inbound leads every week. When I send a message in direct message or by email, people answer to me within 24 hours or 48 hours. And they often tell me that they love my content and that they've been following me for a long time. So that proves that I'm helping them, and in exchange, they are okay to talk with me. And I even noticed that when I sent a message to meet someone, they are really interested to meet me. For example, I was traveling in Europe, and when I arrived in a big city in Europe, I sent a direct message to someone who is a chief marketing officer in a big corporation, and within 48 hours they replied to me and proposed to have a coffee together. So you see, this is really a great asset for you, your career, or your business. And obviously it helped me to generate revenue because I can sell my offers within this distribution network. And now my solo business makes multiple 5 figures per month thanks to this audience on LinkedIn. So obviously you don't need 100,000 followers to get all those benefits. If your target is 10,000 or 20,000 followers, that's a very good objective as well. What matters is what topic you're talking about, your content strategy, who is seeing your posts, are they in your target audience, does your content strategy contribute to your business growth? Those are the important questions beyond the number of followers. All right, that was my story about how I went from 2,000 to over 113,000 followers. And now I'm going to recap the 7 lessons that I told you within this video. First, you need to start by experimenting. Don't fear the judgment of others, but stay within your expertise zone. Second, always keep posting and reinventing your content even when you are winning. Third, consistency is the name of the game, so you need to keep posting even when it's getting hard. Fourth, the formats, the hooks are important, but more importantly, you need to find insights and talk about insights that are interesting, unique, and fresh. 5, you need to take your content strategy seriously and to have a set of content pillars, a narrative, a point of view, and an enemy in order to create good content. 6, if you have different skills, you should add them to the LinkedIn post in order to create unique content. So if you are good at video or design, make sure to include it inside your LinkedIn strategy. And the last lesson, number 7, the results are delayed, so you need to be patient. When you start publishing today, you will start getting results within 2 or 3 months. All right, that's the end of this video. If you want to have more information about how to grow on LinkedIn, you can have a look at the LinkedIn masterclass in the description. I'm sure it will help you to grow your number of followers, but more importantly, to create and apply your content strategy. And make sure to subscribe to this channel and please like this video in order to get the next one.